So let's talk about the double Liverpool defenders a little bit, because three of us have that situation going. Gash, can you kind of tell us what made you choose the double Liverpool option? Little risky in years past, but kind of seems like a no-brainer, at least to me right now. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, a lot of my thinking behind it was looking at how they did last season, and I think people like to point out that at the start of last season they went maybe 10 or 15 game weeks while hardly keeping any clean sheets, and I think a big part of that was they were adjusting to a new defensive system, and Alisson was also out for a huge chunk of that run. So I think once he came back and they really got into the rhythm, they were keeping clean sheet after clean sheet for a while there. And I think that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not really too worried necessarily about Trent and Robbo getting forward because I think they'll, get your attacking returns regardless. It's just really that the clean sheets that can, propel them into elite status. They were both, I think Trent scored maybe about 210 points last season, and Robertson was slightly behind that. For that, point scoring, if they had, if you could get a 7.0 midfielder that scored that many points, you'd be ecstatic. And I think that's the same thing, just because they're playing in the back.
Yeah, that was my thinking. I tried to tell myself, all right, just think of one of them as a midfielder. You're getting a 7.0 Liverpool midfielder with the potential to score 200 plus. It's almost too good to be true in my head. C4, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing there with you guys on the later points of, I kind of yo-yoed with this back with my first draft of, it kind of made sense to me to not play a 3 at the back this year, just because of, if you're comparing the premium defender options with mid-range midfielder options in that 7.0, I would say all the way up to 9.0 range. I asked this episode on the last podcast, I don't see any of them outscoring a Trent or a Robertson, or at least not outscoring them enough to justify the $1 or $1.5 million difference there. So that was my thinking to it. I almost went overboard and played a 5 at the back this year when I had my first draft, just because of that thinking. So I'm not usually comfortable with the 3-man midfield, but like you said, that mentality of, Trent and Robo are basically the midfielder helps a lot with that.
I just want to say one thing. You've been calling him Robo for a while. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Robbo. It's Robertson, not Robertson. So just something to keep in mind. RoboCop.
Sorry, dude. I think
I don't know if that's
just
your Canadian. Yeah, I don't know if that's your Canadian coming through or whatnot, but let's try to keep it American here, okay? And let's kind of flip on the other side of this question. Tazz, why don't you kind of tell us why you didn't go for the double Liverpool option?
Basically went for it last season. Didn't turn out so well, as Gash mentioned before. Even though Alisson was still out, that's kind of a big factor in it. I ended up having to transfer one of them out. I believe it was Robertson last season after a couple of game weeks. So for me, it's I don't want to really risk it upon not even specifically Liverpool double up, but I just wouldn't want to risk kind of any defensive double up in the back, just because it's kind of a little bit unpredictable going to the start of the season. The way I set it up though is I have Doherty, which is offers me a different team that's viable still for clean sheets, but he's only $1 million less than Robertson. So if Liverpool do start off really well, and I can see they're getting defensive returns as well as attacking returns, I can easily transfer in a Robertson. I have Zaha in my team, but that's the one my risky player that if it doesn't work out, I can take that funds and upgrade elsewhere where I see other maybe premium assets are doing better, so I can always upgrade. A big argument is that I feel like everyone thinks they're gonna get 200 points again. I believe they're gonna both of them are gonna average around 180. I don't think either one of them is actually gonna break 200 points. Robertson, 2 years ago when he broke that 100, he set the record for 213 points. Liverpool had a absurd 21 clean sheets, which I just don't think they're gonna keep this season without signing anyone to help out in the back. If Van Dijk or even Robertson are trying to get injured, that's the Liverpool defense is looking significantly different, as well as when Robertson last season he had such a crazy haul of attacking returns that just made up for not getting those clean sheets. So I believe Liverpool's still gonna get at least 15 clean sheets, but I don't think they're gonna be crazy scoring as they were or as people expect them to.
Okay, and you picked Trent out of the two of them, right?
Yeah, I believe Trent's the better option.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's worth the extra 0.5.